Hello web designers, this is Mr. Sparks, and this is our next lesson on CSS. And so we're going to go ahead and get going on this one. We're going to be learning how to create a div tag and how to style that in an HTML document. And we'll be working more extensively with div tags in future lessons. So go ahead and open up the Caret program. If you're on a Chromebook, if you have Notepad++, you can open that up as well. This will work perfectly fine on either one. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new document, and you want to change your, first of all, you want to change your language here to HTML. So if you're using this Caret program, you would go down here and select the language and HTML, and we're going to save this file. So we'll go File, Save As, and we are going to call this one, I'm just going to call this one div tag 1 dot HTML, just to be safe. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is go ahead and create our first tag, and use your exclamation point, doc type, HTML, and close that. That'll just tell it that it's going to be an HTML5 document. Okay, then we'll go ahead and add our HTML tag, and it will automatically, in this program, automatically gives you the ending tag. So we'll go ahead and give us a little bit of space, because that should be our last tag that we use. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our head tag, and we'll also need a few lines here, because we're going to have our title and also our style sheet inside this. So the next thing we want to do is go ahead and add a title, and we're just going to call this one, title this page, div tag example. Okay, go out to the end of this tag here, hit enter. Now we're going to create a new style. This is only going to be just one, and then you'll have a few exercises to do, one exercise to do. So once you watch this video, you should understand how to do that. And so we're going to go ahead and set this up. So we're going to add our style tag, and let's go ahead and give a little bit of room here. And so a div tag is basically a division tag, so it's a DIV. And what it does is it just allows us to divide our web page up into different sections, and we can have a little bit more control over the framework of it. And so this is going to be our tag. So just like we did our p dot border tags and things like that, this is going to be a rule. So this will apply to any div tag that we set up in our document. So use our left curly bracket. I'm just going to hit enter, go down here, and first thing we're going to do is we're going to give it a background color. So background dash background dash color. We'll use our colon. We'll just do this one right gray. Okay. And nice thing about this program is it color codes everything for you really nicely. Okay, so that's going to be the background color of this div tag. The next rule we're going to say is we're going to give it a width. And basically the width is going to be how wide this is. This is kind of like going to be like a box style div tag. So it likes to create a box with a border with some padding and a margin and things like that. So the width is going to be how many pixels wide it will be, the complete div tag will be. So in this first one, we're going to do 300 px. And so px stands for pixels. And so anytime that you're using, when you're doing width of the div tag, or the thickness of a border, or margins or padding or anything like that we're going to do, px will stand for pixels. So that's pretty much what we're going to be using to do this. Went too far there, so let's go back to that one. So the overall width will be 300 pixels. And then we're going to go ahead and add a border to this. So we're going to give it a border and a colon. So this will be our border rule. And we want this to be 15 pixels solid blue. Okay, you could solid means the 15 pixels, as we've done borders before. 15 pixels is the thickness of the border. Solid will be the type of border that it'll be. So any of the borders we've done in previous lessons, you could also insert those here if you wanted to practice a little bit. And then, of course, the last thing will be the color. Okay, so we're going to make this one blue. You can make that any color, but we're going to make it blue, and you'll see what it looks like. You can come up and change some of these rules and refresh your page just to see what the changes would look like. Okay, the next thing we want to do is add some padding. And what padding does is it just basically gives me some empty space between the border and the actual text or any picture or anything else that we actually would add inside this particular div tag. Okay, so we're going to make the padding 50 pixels, and but just be aware that that's what's inside our. Just basically gives you space around the inside of this particular area of our page. Okay, then we're going to say the margin, and the margin will designate how much room there is around this div tag itself and anything else on our page. Okay, and so just kind of like a margin on a paper that you might write. Okay, so we're going to say 20 pixels on this one. All right, and then the last thing, if we don't do anything else, and then our text would be black. So we're just going to change the color of our text as well, so you understand how to make it work. We're just going to say color, and we'll make it red. Okay, and that'll be pretty much the end of this particular. We're only going to have this document. It's just going to be designed just to show you how to actually make this work. So we'll take that extra space out. So there's the end of our style section, and we can go ahead and bring our head tag up to there. So now everything right through there, at least to that point, is pretty much done. So we're going to go ahead and add start on the body of our document. So we'll start that with a body tag. Okay, give us a little bit of space there. Be aware in Notepad++, it does not automatically give you the end tag. If you start a tag, you have to manually end that tag with your / and then the tag title. So anything in between these two tags here will be included in the title, the same way as with the style, and then here's the end of our style. So we could add additional styles to this internal style sheet just by entering down and entering a new rule in there. Okay, so here in our body, we're going to, first of all, I'm going to give a little bit of room so it's easier to read this. It's not necessary, but I'm just going to do it just so we can have a little space. Okay, so I'm going to add an H2 tag, and in here I'm going to say this is a demo of the box model. Okay, demo of the box model div tag. Okay, so go there, hit enter. We'll go ahead and enter one more time, and we're going to add a paragraph tag here. I'm just going to give a little bit of information here. I'm going to say the CSS model is essentially a box. Move my cursor for you. Essentially a box that wraps around every HTML element. It consists of border, padding, margins, and the actual content. Okay, so the CSS model here is essentially just a box that will wrap around all the HTML elements, and it will consist of a border, padding, margins, and the actual content that we have. So that'll be some text that we have. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and hit save on this, and we will open that document up. and see what we have so far. So you'll want to go and find, if you save that as an HTML file, you should get something like this so far. So here we have our div tag example, which is our title here. Then we have our H2 tag here. Then we have our paragraph, as you can see. If we were to right click on here and say view page source, then we will see our code here. So we'll basically see a mirror of this. So this is what we have typed so far, and this is what it picks up and reads, and this is how it displays it. Okay, so let's move on, and now let's go ahead and add our div tag. Okay, so div tag, you're just going to basically go DIV, and we will actually be creating these in much bigger fashion, and we'll be putting these inside of one another. So we'll just kind of go over that as we go, but just so you understand how to create one and then how to use them. But that'll be in a upcoming lesson. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to say this text is the content of the box. We have added a 50 pixel padding, 20 pixel margin, and a 15 pixel blue border. Okay, now I want some additional information here. So what I'm really going to do, I'm just going to kind of go here and we'll copy this. So Control C, and I'm just going to hit enter so it doesn't go all the way across my page. Oops, we want to do that. Hit the space bar there. So we'll say we'll hit enter now. Control V, hit enter again, Control V, hit enter again, Control V. I'll just do that 3 or 4 times. Okay, and then we have our ending div tag there. So let me just put that down here. We've got our ending body tag, we've got our ending HTML tag. So we can go ahead and bring our HTML tag up a little bit. So if we go ahead and hit save file again, and we bring this up, and we hit that, we'll notice that now we have a nice little box. Here's our margin that you can see away from here. We have our blue pixel border here, we have our gray background, and we have our red text. So what if we decided, well, I don't really like that, I want to make a little bit of a change. Let's see what happens if we only have, let's just say oops, I keep doing that, don't want to do that. Let's just say that I have a 0 pixel margin. Let's see what that looks like. Save that again, open this up, and you notice how that it moved the location, so we don't have a margin any longer. Okay, so let's try again here. Let's put that back to 20. Okay, and let's just say our border here 15. You'll notice the padding is 50. If we were to set the padding down to say 20, it should be a noticeable difference. We'll go ahead and hit save. If we look at it now, you'll notice that our padding is pretty extensive. So if we refresh now after we've saved and changed that value, you'll notice that the padding is much less, and it resized our box down a little bit as well. Okay, so that's how you can kind of mess around with some of these values. Change the background color, any number of things that you want. But that's pretty much how you would create a div tag. We'll go ahead and refresh that again, and that's what you should get, is something similar to that. And that's pretty much all we need to do for this particular lesson. This will be enough to get you to get through your assignment that is up for this particular lesson. There should be one, and I'm going to try to pull that up and just kind of show you what it looks like. So we'll pause for just a second. Okay, so that video will be posted here. I'll post it here in your video tutorial lessons, so you should see it there. And this is your assignment. So if you go here and here to view assignment, oops, wrong place here. Let's go here. And what you want to do is, you'll see your screen will be a little bit different, but what I want you to do is basically where it says copy the HTML code starting here. So you would basically start right here and just copy this code down to here. So just copy this little piece of code right here in a new document, a new Notepad++ or Caret HTML file. And make sure you save it as HTML, change your language to HTML. And then all you need to do is do these 5 steps and modify this particular document. And then that's what you would actually turn in. But make sure it is a .html document. So you're going to basically add a title to your web page. So you know, you just be aware. I'm not really going to tell you where to go, but you want to make sure that you go in and you set your web page title to CSS div box model. Then you want to set the width of the div to 200 pixels. You want to set the padding to 25 pixels, set a border of 25 pixels solid navy, and then you also want to set the margin here. So I've already included like the background color for you here, so already kind of get you started. So make sure you add your additional things for your title and all the other additional rules that you need. Down here is where your this is kind of some Latin placeholder text, so you don't have to worry about typing anything new in there. So you just basically, as a little hint, you're just going to do all of this work here inside of this head tag. So it'll be up to you to figure out from where you should put it and make sure it looks good. And that'll be all for this lesson.